Hi, it's Nalini again, and I wanted to talk to you. Well, Source wanted me to talk to you for just a few minutes about the idea of living a conscious life. It's really living consciously, living as presence, living what I sometimes call a source directed life. And I use that terminology mostly because it's easier for people's minds to understand. What happens is that we become something other than our human egos. We become different. The ego dissolves, drops. We don't kill it. I mean, it's funny because the ego will fight to the death because it believes we're trying to kill off the thing that's keeping our bodies alive. And the ego is programmed that way. It's programmed to do that. It's a survival program. But consciousness, when we talk about consciousness, presence, essence, is what we are. And surrendering into that, letting go into that, really is the process. And it took me years of struggle and fighting to surrender. And it's funny now because surrender used to really be my tough nut. I could do anything but that last little bit. And I think most of us are like that. Like, I'm not going to let go of who I am. Well, the I am statement is very powerful. Ask your guides, ask your awareness. When we say I am, fill in the blank, Source says, okay. And we actually create a field, we create a beingness of that. So over the decades of, waking up, being awake, being embodied, being part of the oneness, and that's a process, I've learned to catch my mind at the moment of the thought that runs something like, I am in pain. Ooh, wait a minute. More correctly, that would be, my physical body is experiencing pain, or my emotional body is experiencing pain. Now, are we going to sit and analyze and take all the time to do that? Usually not, typically not, as if, right? But if we get into a new habit of listening, we become more and more present all the time, which is why we're here. You want to know what your life purpose is? It's to be the presence that you are, to be fully embodied as the divine being that you are, and to ladle light however it is most enjoyable to you. Full stop. Being that presence is not difficult. It is the simplest, easiest, most graceful thing there is. Our egos, however, our minds, our conditioning, the collective, all the things we've been taught and conditioned and imprinted and educated about, will fight that energy, that simple presence. Now, there is no past, there is no future, there is presence. Not present, there's a difference, although there is that when we view things in a linear way, which we do here. We experience life as linear. Isn't that weird? As you step out of it consciously, bit by bit, you start to realize just how unique and precious and weird that is. So, how to be that presence? Well, all hows are up to Source. She is the how, she is the all, she is the quantum entanglement, she is everything. And as we start to leave the doing, leave the how, up to that conscious presence, whatever you want to call it. I use the feminine form because there's a balancing that's needed on this planet at this time. That's why. As we become that all, that presence, it radiates through us. This is love. This is what love really is. Humans, the minute you use that word, like I probably just lost some of you, that's okay. There is this beingness, this essence, this peace that we become, that we are. And so the practice is resting in that, surrendering into it, inviting it in, inviting yourself in, whatever you need to do to get your mind there, your emotions, and being that. Bringing that presence to everything consciously in every moment that you're able to. And it doesn't mean, sitting all like, oh, I'm going to be all holy. Well, that's nice. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It's a bit limited, but there's nothing wrong with that. But is that going to help you drive to the market or be better at your job? I mean, we can't all move into caves. Some days we'd like to, but that's not going to work. Life has to function. So what is going to help in the day-to-day? Bringing that presence to the day-to-day and letting it enfold you, protect you, help you with your boundaries, create the ones you really need, and ladle the light that you are into your situation, whatever it might be. You've all had that experience. You know how a simple smile can help someone if you are present. So becoming fully aware, part of the oneness, all of that, isn't as hard as we make it. Certainly isn't as hard as I made it for a lot of years. And more I'm shown that the resistance that we experience, that a lot of us experience, the awakened or awakening ones, is so that we will understand and be able to comfort those who are also going through it, who have conditioning in their bodies and minds that they don't even realize is there. I mean, if we have a body, there's still stuff there. Perfect is this weird abstract idea of something that doesn't exist, or a perfected being. What's that? Consciousness is always evolving. Presence expands continuously, but we can become what we truly are. And her main message for today is, it's not that difficult. You got this. Or rather, she's got this if you let her. I wish you your presence in every moment. Namaste.